Outlander's Caitriona Balfe on Claire Fraser in Season 5, she has her family, she has love in her life, she has a passion and a calling. When the Outlander ends with the Outlander Season 5 premiere, some time has passed in the North Carolina hills. Fraser's ridge has grown and prospered. Jamie, Sam Hugan, and Claire, Caitriona Balfe, have built a big house with a surgery for Claire to practice medicine, and they are doting grandparents to Brianna's, Sophie Skelton, son Jemmy. It's really nice to be able to play someone who's in a very mature and happy place in their life, Balfe told reporters at the Television Critics Association. Obviously, things will happen, and there will be dark moments, but I think, as an overall sense, she has her family, she has love in her life, she has a passion and a calling. I suppose that just makes her a very full, well-rounded person, and it's nice to play that. But even as Claire is happy in her life, she isn't above taking risks to ensure the health of the people in her community. In Season 5, based on Diana Gabaldon's The Fiery Cross, Claire is able to invest time again in her role as a surgeon and really expand her role as a healer in the community. She has so much knowledge from the 20th century, she feels that she could really help this community and the people around her, if she could bring some of the things that she used in the 20th century to this time, Balfe says. Obviously, that comes with a lot of risks. We see that she takes these big chances in exploring surgery that she would have done in the 20th century and also trying to maybe develop medicines that she would have used in the 20th century. We do play a lot with what are the consequences of testing fate and playing God? But that definitely is a very risky endeavor for Claire this season. Do you feel like her instincts are your instincts at this point? Do you know her really well? At this point, it feels very organic in playing her, but I think there's still room to be surprised. There'll still be things that come up that are challenging and different and new, and that's really nice at this point in the show, because I think if that wasn't the case, it would all get pretty dreary. How about this season in particular? What challenged you? I have a storyline towards the end of the season that's very challenging. I can't really talk too much about it, but it's a storyline we've brought in from Book 6, A Breath of Snow and Ashes, and it was really challenging material. We took a risk with how we were doing it visually and storytelling-wise. I haven't seen it yet, so I hope it's paid off, but it was good. It was nice to have something that asked a lot of me, again, at this point in our show. How has your approach to playing Claire over the years evolved and changed as the series has progressed? I think in the beginning, you're creating so many memories for a character and they're purely out of your imagination. You have to build up a bank before you start, because you have to create a life. Whereas now, 5 years in, every scene you do is like a memory from that person's life. So, everything we talk about, we've already filmed it and lived it, in a certain sense. So, in that way, the prep is a little bit different, because so much of it is already inside you. You don't have to, I suppose, create it as much, but again you still have to be as focused on day 550 as you are day 1. Otherwise, for me anyway, if I'm not invested and if I'm not focused, then I wouldn't be enjoying it. The show continues to challenge us, and that's the best way to keep you focused, I think. Is there anything you have learned from Claire and Jamie's fictitious relationship that you appreciate? I think it's communication. You see how badly things go when they don't communicate. So, I think that's a good lesson to take away from it. How have you taken on the role of producer this year? Is it more on the writing side or the day-to-day? Well, I think this year, we really became producers very late in the day, sort of right before we started filming. For me, it's very important that this isn't just a vanity title, but I also didn't want to wait in there and be like, hey, guys, I'm a producer now. I wanted to learn, and I think that's been the most gratifying part about it, is just being able to sit in on all the production meetings, see how it's run, and where we can be of benefit. I'm hoping that we continue to expand it going into this season. Will you be able to read scripts earlier? Yeah, and, I think, being on meetings even when they're breaking the stories, get those earlier breakdowns. That's good, and, for me, it's a part that I'm really interested in doing going further down the line. It's nice to be able to broaden my horizons and expand within this show that has already given me so much. What does doing a show set in the 1770s make you appreciate about living in 2020? Every day we are very grateful that we live in this time. Walking around in those costumes alone and absorbing all the mud and everything in your hemlines, you become very aware very quickly how difficult it must have been. This is being touted by Stars as a women's tale, but there are so many guys that are absolutely invested in this series. Why do you think it has a genderless appeal? I think if you look at this stage, you see 4 actors who play 2 very different couples, but very balanced couples. I think it's not more of a woman's tale than it is a man's. We have a lot of action. We have a lot of political intrigue. I don't know that any woman is any less interested in that than any man. I think most men are looking for love, too, so I think that these are universal themes that we deal with. What I think we do beautifully in our show is we give you this great fantasy and these epic storylines, but we ground it in very real and honest moments. That's what I hope people connect to. You have a new cast member in EDSO. Have there been any fun moments with that completely adorable cat? We have had a couple of scenes where the cat will be on the front porch in the scene and then by the time they say, cut, we have about 15 people looking for it because it's either gone under the crawl space or it's off into the woods. Animals are never easy to work with. There's just no training a cat. How much can you walk around incognito now? Are you finding ways to not be recognized? I can. I'm not wearing a big curly wig, so I manage to go incognito quite a lot. It's great. Sometimes even when I'm standing next to Sam, people don't recognize me. Outlander Season 5 premieres February 16th on Stars.